Hello, New York Yankees fans. We have brand new exclusive videos and the latest news for you. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join our channel and give this video a like. It's crucial to get exclusive access to the latest updates. The new season has barely begun, and already the conversation around New York baseball is heating up in a way that only this city can produce. Expectations are always sky high when it comes to the Yankees. But recently a debate started gaining serious traction about pressure, payroll, and who really has more at stake this season. For years, the Yankees have carried the weight of history, championships, and the constant expectation to win it all. But now there's a growing argument that maybe the pressure in New York does not sit only in the Bronx anymore. The discussion really picked up after strong comments about the difference in expectations between the two New York teams. When you look at the numbers, the conversation becomes even more interesting. One team is spending an enormous amount of money trying to build a roster to win right now, while the other already has a competitive team that continues to reach the postseason and stay relevant every single year. That raises a simple but powerful question. If one team is spending more, has waited longer for a championship, and is clearly in win-now mode, why does the pressure always seem heavier on the Yankees? The Yankees, as always, are expected to compete for the World Series every single season. That expectation has existed for generations, and it is part of what makes the franchise what it is. Since the days when ownership demanded championships and nothing less, fans have been conditioned to measure success only in titles. Making the playoffs is not enough. Winning a division is not enough. Even reaching the World Series is sometimes not enough. The standard is winning it all, and that standard never changes. But this season, the spotlight is starting to shift a little. With massive payrolls, roster changes, and big expectations across the city, there are now questions about which organization truly faces the biggest pressure to deliver results immediately. When a team spends hundreds of millions and builds a roster designed to win right now, patience becomes very short. Fans expect October baseball, ownership expects October baseball, and anything less quickly becomes a disappointment. While all of that debate was happening off the field, the Yankees decided to make a statement where it matters most: on the field. Opening day was not just another game. It felt like a show, a spectacle, the kind of event that reminds everyone why baseball in New York always feels bigger than baseball anywhere else. There was entertainment, special introductions, celebrities, cameras everywhere, and a playoff atmosphere, even though it was only the first game of the season. And then the game started, and the Yankees did what great teams do. They won, and they won convincingly. A 7-0 victory immediately sent a message that this lineup is still one of the most dangerous in baseball. What made the performance even more impressive was the fact that some of the biggest stars in the lineup did not even have their best day at the plate. Despite that, the offense kept producing runs, kept putting pressure on the pitcher, and kept finding ways to score. That is what makes this lineup so dangerous. It is not just about one superstar carrying the team every night. It is about depth. It is about having hitters from the top of the order to the bottom who can change a game with one swing, one double into the gap, or one big at-bat with runners on base. When a team can score runs even on a day when its biggest hitters struggle, that is when you know the lineup is truly elite. The Yankees chased the opposing starting pitcher out of the game earlier than expected, scoring multiple runs and forcing the bullpen to enter the game under pressure. That kind of offensive pressure changes everything. Pitchers start throwing differently, defenses start making mistakes, and the game starts to snowball. That is exactly what happened, and before long the game was completely under control. One of the biggest talking points from last season was whether the Yankees should have made major changes to the roster or kept the core of the team together. There were many critics who believed the team needed a major rebuild or at least significant changes after the playoff exit. But the front office believed the team was already strong enough and that continuity could actually be the key to success this season. Based on the first game and the way the offense performed, that decision is starting to look very smart. People sometimes forget just how good this offense was last season. They led the league in multiple offensive categories, hit for power, got on base, and consistently produced runs across the entire season. The narrative that the offense was not good enough did not really match the actual numbers. The reality is that in baseball, everything is judged by what happens in the postseason. A team can dominate the regular season, lead the league in runs, hit home runs, and win many games. But if the playoff run ends early, people forget everything that happened before. That is just how sports work, especially in a city like New York where the spotlight never turns off and expectations never drop. Still, the early signs this season suggest that this offense might be even more dangerous than last year. Contributions are coming from everywhere in the lineup, not just the top hitters. When the bottom of the order is getting on base, driving in runs, and extending innings, it makes the entire lineup more difficult to pitch against. Pitchers cannot relax at any point because every batter becomes a threat. The pitching staff also did its job, delivering strong innings and keeping the opposing team completely off the scoreboard. When you combine strong pitching with a deep and powerful lineup, that is when a team starts to look like a true championship contender. It is only the beginning of the season, but the early performance showed exactly why so many people still believe this team can make a serious run this year. The stadium scoreboard showed the replay and the strike zone graphic, and after a few seconds, the system confirmed that the pitch was indeed a strike. Even though the call did not change, the moment itself was important because it showed how the game is evolving. Players now have a tool to challenge certain calls, and that adds a completely new strategic element to the game. Managers and players will have to think carefully about when to use challenges and when to save them for more important moments later in the game. This technology has been tested for several years in the minor leagues and during spring training, but seeing it in a real major league game makes everything feel different. It is no longer an experiment. It is becoming part of the sport. Some fans love the idea because they want the game to be as fair and accurate as possible. Others worry that too much technology could take away from the human element that has always been part of baseball. No matter which side people are on, it is clear that the sport is changing and players are going to have to adapt quickly. The Yankees coaching staff has already spent a lot of time preparing players for this system, explaining how it works, when to use it, and how it could help them in important situations. This kind of preparation might not seem very exciting, but over the course of a long season, small advantages like this can make a big difference. One correct call in a key moment could change a game, and one game can change a division race, and a division race can change the entire postseason picture. Beyond the technology and beyond the big opening day victory, what really stands out right now is the confidence around this Yankees team. You can see it in the way the players talk, in the way they play, and in the way they support each other during games. Teams that believe they can win usually play differently. They stay calm when they're losing, they take advantage when the other team makes mistakes, and they never feel like they're out of a game. Another important factor this season will be the balance between offense and pitching. The lineup is clearly powerful and deep, but championships are usually won by teams that can also pitch consistently throughout the entire season. Starting pitchers need to go deep into games, the bullpen needs to protect leads, and the defense needs to avoid costly mistakes. When all those things work together, that is when a team becomes very difficult to beat in a playoff series. The early performance from the pitching staff was very encouraging because they attacked hitters, threw strikes, and worked quickly. When pitchers are confident and throwing strikes, the defense stays engaged and the entire team plays with better energy. Baseball is a sport where rhythm and momentum matter a lot. And when a team starts the season playing clean baseball, that momentum can carry into the next series and the next road trip. There's also something very important about keeping most of the same roster from the previous season. Players already know each other, they understand their roles, and the clubhouse chemistry is already built. New teams sometimes take months to develop that chemistry, but when a team stays together, they can start the season already feeling comfortable and focused on winning instead of figuring out how to play together. Of course, the season is very long and there will be difficult moments. There will be losing streaks, injuries, bad games, and tough road trips. Every team goes through those moments. The difference between good teams and great teams is how they respond when things are not going well. Championship teams usually find a way to stop losing streaks quickly and avoid letting bad weeks turn into bad months. Right now, though, the feeling around this team is very positive. The offense looks dangerous, the pitching looks solid, the team looks confident, and the organization clearly believes that this group can compete for a championship. But as always in New York, expectations are not just about competing. Expectations are about winning in October, and everything that happens during the regular season is simply part of the journey toward that goal. As the season continues, every series, every big hit, every great pitching performance, and every close game will start to build the story of this season. And if the opening game was any indication, this team is going to be involved in many big moments, many exciting games, and many conversations about whether this could finally be the year they bring another championship back to New York. And as this new chapter unfolds, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. The internal competition within the roster itself is pushing the level even higher. Every player knows that performance matters every single night, and that urgency creates an edge that can separate good teams from truly elite ones. When even the bottom of the lineup is fighting to prove their value, it forces the entire group to stay sharp, focused, and ready to contribute in any situation. There's also a growing sense that this team understands the importance of timing. It is not just about starting strong. It is about building consistency and peaking at the right moment. The lessons from previous seasons are still fresh, and there's a clear awareness that regular season dominance means nothing if it does not carry into the postseason. That mindset is already shaping how this team approaches each game, with intensity that feels different, more controlled, more purposeful. Another element that could define this season is adaptability. With new rules, evolving technology, and constant adjustments from opposing teams, the ability to make quick decisions and adapt during games is becoming more valuable than ever. Whether it is using the challenge system at the right moment, adjusting to a pitcher mid-game, or making defensive shifts based on tendencies, the smartest and most prepared teams will always have an advantage over the course of a long season. And as the spotlight continues to grow brighter with each passing game, the pressure will only increase. Not just from fans, not just from the media, but from within the organization itself. Because when a team shows this level of potential early on, expectations rise immediately. Every win builds belief. Every dominant performance raises the standard, and every player becomes part of a bigger mission that is impossible to ignore as the season moves forward. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.